right. Hi, everybody. Welcome. This is it's 7 o'clock now. It's June 15th, 2022, and we are about to start our Parks and Recs meeting. Tonight, we're going to start with George Schwartz. He's coming to present something to us as an Eagle Scout. George?
We're not introducing ourselves.
Oh, you want to introduce yourselves? Okay, George, give me a minute, okay? We'll go ahead and introduce ourselves first. It's been a long day, everyone. Sorry. Tracy McGraw, chair for now.
And Laura Janes, member.
I'm Maureen Hall, senior representative.
David Shaw, member.
Jamie Devlin, member.
Jonathan Barkley, MYA.
Naomi Halter, the school board representative.
Lon Woods, Town Council Rep.
And Matt Kasparis, Director of Parks and Recreation.
Great. Thank you, everybody. George, you're on.
All right. Oop, this is
He's coming.
and actually, if you can just hit the button on the microphone, the little push there in the front.
He's
Yep,
got
there you
it.
go. So it should be lit up. There you
Here
go.
we go. Okay, I'm presenting Stairs for Twin Bridges Park. Sorry, my voice is a little raspy. I'm slightly ill. I'm on the recovery end. But and you're immediately posed with the question, why build stairs at Twin Bridges Park? And my answer is the stairs provide an easier way of walking down the hill right by the the parking lot right at the beginning. And it helps for those, especially those with weak knees. It helps them get down that hill a bit easier. I'm sure there's a lot of children too who have been running down that hill, slipped and fallen, gotten a couple scrapes and bruises, and it's probably ruined their afternoons. So I think that while these stairs are good for the community, they're also good for preventing erosion, which I can get to a little bit later, because that hill has a lot of erosion from running water.
Is this right next to the hill?
Yeah,
the
right-
driveway or on the other side?
Right on the other side of that fence, you've got the driveway, the fence, and then there's like the main walking path,
Perfect.
and that's pretty steep. So this is the location here. It circled. It's just a little path. So this is sort of the design that I have for the stairs. It's going to be some wood outlines filled with gravel, and that should help. It'll be a little more packed down so that it provides like an easy walking surface at a pretty consistent incline, so it's not like as a steep drop off and then a long run off like the current hill is. And I have a little diagram sort of thing of where each step would go. There's supposed to be roughly 22 steps in this space, which would help keep it a consistent slope. So here's my little poorly drawn diagram of the stairs. I changed it so it's going to be 4 by 4 by 8 foot wood instead of 4 by 6 by 8 feet, because it's half the price, and it saves a lot of fundraising time. It's going to be reinforced with rebar to keep it in the ground and prevent it from decaying rapidly. And what else? Right, so the length of the stairs is going to be different depending on where it is on the hill. Like at the bottom of the hill, the stairs might be longer than those at the top because it fits better with the hill that way. There's also, I have here the start and stop areas for how long this is going to be. So it goes right from the parking lot, right at the edge of that parking lot, down to where the hill gets to a point where it doesn't really need stairs anymore. It's basically flat at that point. And that's using a Google Maps image, by the way. So here's sort of the materials that we're going to need, or that I would have to get. There's a lot of wood, so it would be roughly 88 pressure-treated landscaping lumbers, 12 cubic yards, roughly, of crushed rock, and that would also be mixed with the rock that's already there, because it is already a gravel pathway. So we would be mixing new rock with the old rock, and that'll get some of that dust in so that it can settle in and pack down nicely. And then rebar, it's going to be reinforced with some pretty thick rebars, roughly 6 per stair, and that'll keep it planted in the ground pretty well. And then we're going to need gloves, shovels, and trucks for transporting stuff. The plate compactor, which is pretty cool. We're going to use the water from down there. There's a building that has a external water thing, so we're going to use a hose, connect that up, and then that'll allow the plate compactor to do its thing and settle in the gravel so that it works and makes sure that people don't slip on the new stairs that are preventing people from slipping. And then we're going to be providing people with lunches while they work on this. Nice incentive. And then my plan for fundraising. The current price is roughly $2,900, which is pretty crazy for a Scouts Eagle project, but it would be roughly $1,760 for lumber, but we can cut that in half if we use 4x4x8 instead of 4x6x8. So we just talked that over in the back there a minute ago, and so that seems like it's going to be the new plan. So that'll be cut to roughly $900. Still $480 roughly for gravel, $250 for rebar, $90 for tools, $60 per day for supplies, and then there's this $90 for tools was for the plate compactor. I think that's the only one that is going to cost anything, and that's just a rental. And the plan is to use car washes because they seem to be the best method for fundraising. And then I have my project schedule. I have some slightly wrong information on here, but that's okay because it's just a projection. So we have the Parks and Recreation meeting, which is today, not in 2 days. We've got Town Council meeting. I have to go through my troop committee, and then my Eagle Council, and then I can start fundraising if I get all of those approvals. Fundraising should take 3 days, assuming car washes go well, and then the project work may take longer than 5 days, but so far I'm assuming it's going to take just 5 days. We would be digging and putting the wood in, and then we would have to hammer in all of the rebar. That's probably going to take the longest amount of time. And then we put in all the gravel. I would have to get some trucks in there. Thankfully, that's easy access. You just drive in, dump out all the gravel, and then you just compact it in. So that's my proposal. Any questions?
Tracy? Not a question, but just a comment for everybody else. And George, you hadn't mentioned it, so I'll just throw it out there for the rest of the group. Is one of the problems where he's talking about is the whole top of that is all washed out. And there's a big gully running down the side of that hillside. And, I hadn't even thought about it until I stopped and looked, and I was like, oh, yeah. And while there's a more gradual path over on the other kind of that starts over by closer to the building, I don't think people use it. They all
That
go
one's
right from
steep,
that corner
too.
of the parking lot because it's closer. But so this is trying to address a hazard.
Does anyone else have, Maureen?
Yeah, I have a question. Are you putting a handrail of anything? I'm
Um,
old, and if I'm going to use those stairs, I have to have handrail. I don't do stairs without someone carrying me or holding on to something.
Yeah, so I figured that would be a pretty common question. So yeah, it's I don't think I would be putting in a handrail because one, it's already improving on the hill, so
Yeah.
it's going to be easier to walk down than
No.
it already is.
No.
But at the same time, yeah, I understand that. But it's also
Not for me.
that increases the scope of the project, and it would be
Yeah.
a little bit too big for just me to do. So that could be another one to add.
It's
like
very
a
hard to
future
go
project.
downstairs if you're expecting elderly people to
Yeah.
use it, it's not gonna be,
I understand that.
sorry. I won't be that. I'll roll down.
I have a couple questions for you.
Yes.
I just wanted to clarify on the size of the step. What, if you're looking at like the average step, I know you said that in some places it would be different sizes depending upon the location. So what would be the average depth, base, the width, the length?
Yeah, so the average step would be roughly like 6 inches in height. It would go back about 4 feet, and it would be around 9 feet wide.
So you're looking almost like stepping down platforms.
Yeah,
Because it's
kinda
such
like
a
that.
large
And it would
area.
be built into the hill, so it's not going to be like a raised stairs. It would be in the hill, and yeah, it would just be like walking on platforms, except it's filled with gravel on the inside.
One last question, and I think we have something over here. Is there any issue with any pipes, gas, water, electric lines that are in that area that you'd have problems with the rebar?
Part of the project, we've already connected him with Public Works, but one of the things we'd have to go through is a dig safe, just to make sure that before any digging is done.
DigSafe is free though, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, okay. All right. Anybody else have any questions?
I just have a comment. Good job, George, and it's a lot at the end of the school year. What year are you finishing in high school?
Junior.
Good for
so
you. Good. So it's not your
very
senior
rough.
year. That's good.
No, but it's very rough. There's lots of stuff going on right
Yeah,
now.
and it is a process, but that way you will make it. And, the railing, I understand, can be an add-on at some point. Rope tow, golf carts, I don't know. But thank you for coming
Yep,
tonight.
thank you.
Good job.
I think we all echo that sentiment. Thank you very much. It was a great presentation. We appreciate it and well thought out and definitely ambitious as far as your fundraising is concerned. But
Yeah.
you're right about the car washes. I don't know why, but
They work. There was
they really do.
Senior car wash recently. My girlfriend's mom said they didn't do a good job at washing her car. She showed me like 3 sides of it, just straight pollen, soap left over on it, and then one side was nice and clean. But
Well, they got
we'll
one
do a better
side.
job. Yeah. We'll do a better job than them.
Well, that's reassuring.
Any other comments or questions?
I just have one comment. I think it's a great idea. I was actually there today, and coming up the hill especially is the worst. So I think it will be a good idea. And like somebody said, you can always add the railing on later on.
Yeah.
But it's a great idea, and I wish you luck.
Yep, thank you.
Worst case scenario, we'll add a rope tow just for Maureen.
Add a little wench. You could have an electric wench at the top.
Exactly, like they do at a ski resort.
Yeah.
Yes, just for Maureen. We'll even put her name
Cheryl.
on it. Matt, do we need to go ahead and vote to pass it
We
on to
do.
town council?
Correct.
Okay, do we have a motion here?
So moved.
Okay, so there's a motion here to pass this through Parks and Recs and pass Mr. Schwartz here on to town council. Any second? Second. Okay. We'll go with Jonathan gets the second, sorry. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. An account on that one, Matt?
I got it.
Thank you. All right, George, looks like you've got it past us. Your next
Right.
steps are town council.
Thank you.
Are they meeting next Thursday?
They are. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, if you want to just update like the
Update
typo
that,
and
yeah.
stuff in there and just email it to me tomorrow so that I can send it to the council so they have it in advance for next week.
Yep.
And then, but it'll be here in this room again at 7 o'clock.
Okay.
And then obviously between now and then if you haven't already, connect with DPW, just to make sure they don't have any other corrections they want you to make.
All right.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
Thank you very much. Thank you all. Thank you.
All right. I'd like to get some signatures. So.
Yep.
And I don't know where they are, but there's a sheet in here that requires signatures. And I'll spend the rest of my life looking for that.
While George is looking for whatever he's looking for, why don't we go ahead and take a look at the minutes and see if everyone who is here agrees?
Anybody else?
Yeah, I wasn't here. Do we have an issue?
I was just wondering about the way, I wasn't here last time, but just the way that's written, the Tuesday or that.
Um,
Go to the end, or is that?
the abstain is the end.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so it,
so it'd be
so it's
So it would be,
402,
yeah.
is what he's saying.
I'm trying to, oh, there it is, right there.
Oh, who's taking notes?
It's a mixture of Matt and I, and yes, please.
Oh, thank you.
Okay,
All right, yeah, just send me that stuff to the update tomorrow.
Got it. Thank you guys so much.
thank you very much, everyone.
Feel better.
Yes, please feel better. All right, and good luck in front of town council. Lon, you're gonna be nice, very nice.
He's all right.
All right, we have corrected the vote from last time where it said under new business, under the minutes to 402. Were there any other corrections that need to be made? Okay, do we have a motion to accept the minutes from the last meeting? Thank you, Lon.
Second?
Thank you. And all in favor? 1, 2? I'm thinking we don't have a quorum for this one.
But it's only minutes, I mean.
Approve the minutes if you weren't. Yeah, yeah, I think so.
Yeah, why not?
Can you,
It's not voting on
I'm
something new,
here.
it's voting on what happened, so.
Yeah.
but if you weren't here, you can't approve them. Because you don't know what happened and you can't therefore approve it. So the only people who would be able to would be who were actually here
Then
taking.
everybody else has to abstain, and that's fine.
Okay,
Okay, so who was here?
2 people.
0 and 3,
2, 0, 1,
7, 6.
206.
It's fine.
That is not a vote you want to have.
Oh, well.
Okay,
Anyway,
we like to be different.
we do.
Yes, okay. So the next thing that's on the list here is discussion of the open spaces on Parks and Recs Committee. Matt and I were talking a little bit about that before. And there is 1 full-time spot that's open, and is that for the full 3 years, right?
That's for the full 3 years, which is
Jamie's spot?
Jamie's spot, who's,
We are
Too busy
losing
at work.
Jamie after tonight, but thank you very much for being here with us and keeping us, keeping us in order.
You're not available to stay on board. Sad.
He's traveling.
Good for you. Life goes-
He got a better offer.
You need any help? Go to New Mexico?
Okay, so back on track. We also have 1 alternate position that's open as well.
well, let me back before I stop you there. So Laura, where are you, what's your status?
I saw Becky and I put in my,
Your pretty letter.
my pretty letter that I'd like to stay on the committee as
Okay,
a
good.
full-time member.
Done.
Okay, yeah, so,
We can
so
start
yes, we have
done
1
then.
full-time and 1 alternate spot open. And then we have a student rep, although I got an email from Becky Thompson that she got a letter of interest from Cameron Gaumont. And I'm waiting for word that he's been approved by, usually it's a town council and chair of Park and Rec, I think, interview him, or maybe it's just town council, I'm not sure.
No,
but-
it's usually, I was gonna say, I thought Cameron was a she.
Cameron's a
her.
It's
Thank you.
usually town council, someone from town council and someone, I would think that Lon would do it because usually it's the,
I don't know, I haven't heard scheduling wise, but at least we have somebody.
anybody see the movie Gremlins lately?
I liked it better.
Follow up, I'm not totally on
Okay.
who might do the interviews, it's usually the chair and the vice chair of the council.
It's usually not even an
I'm sure
interview,
Matt would be
just so you want to.
invited to.
Whoever wants to do this, just make sure we have a heads up on it, and well, it'll be nice to have a student rep back and get some more insight into the school. Yeah, absolutely.
Was Michelle's term up yet, or what?
No,
Nobody
no,
else up?
she got tied up at work
Yeah,
tonight.
and Christine's not up yet either.
Christine was up too, but she's planning on renewing,
Okay, good.
I think. That's my understanding.
I'm too old to quit.
We're gonna go with that.
We're gonna go with that. We haven't not heard otherwise.
I shut my phone off.
Um,
Okay, so basically then what we have is
One full and
one
full and
full-time-
one alternate.
Okay, and you put in your letter.
Yep, and so if people know people that might be good for this committee, have a, different perspective or whatever, if you have them reach out, and I can certainly kind of go through about what we do, and, but, it'd be nice to fill that spot back up.
So, just so that people know who are watching here, where would they find this information and how to contact?
So on the town website, there's a button there that says, get involved. And then there's basically a little form that you basically write a letter of interest, and I think there's a simple form that you fill out too, that says, why you want to be on this, and, how long have you lived in town, that kind of thing. It's, like I said, a real simple, short form, and it goes to the town council, and then they officially vote you in.
Okay, all right, great. So, the next thing that's on here is election of officers, and we usually do this every year in June. So we have Michelle as secretary right now. We have Christine as vice chair, and I was appointed in here after Laura went to Arizona pastures.
New Mexico match.
New Mexico pastures, I apologize.
Right, so officially Tracy finished the remainder of Laura's term as chair.
Yes.
But now it's June, so we have to do it again.
Yes. So, if anyone has any thoughts, anyone has any desire, while you're thinking, I'm just gonna say that I've enjoyed this. This has been fun. I'm getting into a groove. I certainly had big shoes to fill. Well,
But
I do.
Don't say but.
No, there is no but.
Good.
I would like to continue if no one else is interested. And the second thing that I have to say is I wanted to move in absentia for Christine to continue in the vice chair spot. She's on vacation this week, but she does enjoy the spot, and she's very, very involved and very good at what she does. So again, unless someone else wants to step up and whatever. And then Michelle's not here, so.
But she said she would.
She did?
Yeah.
Well, then,
At the end of
Yeah,
last.
maybe we should just table it until
Yeah,
August.
I'm thinking maybe, we don't have July, right?
We don't have July, so maybe
Why don't we
just
do that when people are here?
Probably a better idea.
Yeah,
And we might have new faces by then. Table till.
All right, we can do that.
okay. Instead of voting in everyone in absentia? Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Well, if you don't show up, you get voted in. That's how it makes you.
But now we know, so.
You know, you're sure right now to make sure that everybody shows up for August.
That's
Okay.
right.
All right, so the next on the list is the dog park. If it's okay with you guys, I'll take that one.
Yep.
So right now, our dog park balance is at $763.59. We're still trying to come up with some ideas for fundraisers, but everybody's doing fundraisers. So it makes it difficult to try and do them. I know that there are certain fundraisers that are out there that are more universal, like the 25K that we got the first time around. So we're working on that as well. In the meantime, someone approached us. I can't remember who. Someone approached us about building some type of a canopy or something in the dog park. And that's as far as I got it. Matt, do you have any more information on that?
We haven't gotten any more update from that. It was a
Okay.
Girl Scout project.
I thought it was a Girl Scout project, but I wasn't
They
positive.
haven't followed up with me as of yet.
It would be great to have something. It just, it really kind of depends on what it is. If it's something that needs to be taken down every year because of the snow, or if it's something that's going to be more permanent. Is it going to be all in the large side? Is it going to be half and half into the large and the small dog side, so both sides could be able to, use it? I'm waiting to hear more information, and I know Matt is too, and we'll keep you guys posted on that. Doggy relief bags are always helpful, and we're going to be having a cleanup sometime in the near future because we're going to be doing probably wood chips again. Although the wonderful work from DPW of doing that parking lot and giving us that little bit of a berm has prevented a lot of the erosion that usually would just wipe out all of the wood chips down the hill. It was actually it was amazing how it stopped that erosion. So thank you again to DPW for what they did.
And I know they were working out there a couple of weeks ago on that hole at the bottom where everything where all the water piles up. They were working on kind of trying to fix some drainage down in there a few weeks ago, so hopefully we won't have those issues where it ices up next winter.
It's a process.
It is.
It's a process. So, I think that's pretty much it. Does anybody have any questions having to do with the dog park? No? Okay. All right. Matt, you're on.
Back to me. All right. So, camp orientation opens next Wednesday, so we got a week to go until I've got a whole host of staff running around. We are more or less at full for the entire summer. We're sold out pretty much. I've got a handful of spots here and there for different age groups, but not many, which is nice to have. We're probably, barring any unforeseen circumstances, we should be a record enrollment year for us, which would be really nice after where we were a couple of years ago, With that said, we've got a couple of positions that we're trying to fill still. My big one is my kitchen assistant, the prep cook, dropped out on me on Monday. She got injured in her other job and now can't work for us this summer due to injury. So that's a tough one to help prepare meals for camp. So we are looking for somebody for that. If 40 hours if they want it, but we'll even take somebody 20 or 30 hours if they don't want full time. So, but Mondays through Fridays. I could use one more lifeguard. I've got 4 lined up at the moment. If I got one more, I'd be really happy, but if I don't, it's not going to break the bank, or it's not going to kill us. And I could use another summer maintenance employee. Again, if I get it, great, could be full-time or part-time summer. But if I don't get it, it's not the end of the world. All the positions are Monday through Fridays, so no nights, no weekends. For the kitchen position and the maintenance, you do have to be 18 or older. The lifeguards, you have to be 16 or older. So that's it on summer. Camp opens the 27th of June, so we're coming close. We're getting there. Movie nights in the parks. Our first movie starts up this coming Saturday. We're showing the movie Encanto at Wasserman Park. Begins at 8:30 p.m., which is dusk. We have to wait, obviously, for it to be dark enough to be able to see the screen. That's a free movie. Our movies are sponsored this year by the Rotary Club of Merrimack, and we also got a recent donation sponsorship from Xfinity Comcast, and who will be there giving away some stuff. Give promotional items, whatnot. The second movie of the summer will be July 23rd, also a Saturday. We're doing Spider-Man No Way Home. And then the last one will be at the end of the summer on September 3rd, which will be Sing 2. So those are up and running. We usually average 100, 150 people, and that was when we were doing them on Friday nights. And we're hoping by switching to Saturdays that it'll bring in a bigger crowd. So.
And these are all at Wasserman Park,
They're all
correct?
at Wasserman Park, yes.
Thank you.
Our summer concerts in the park start up next Wednesday, June 22nd. The first concert is our partnered concert with the library, and it's their kickoff of their summer reading program, so it is a children's performer next week. It's Ben Rudnick and Friends, And they usually have popsicles and things to give away as part of that event. But we are there every Wednesday night at 6 o'clock through August 17th. And we've got a wide variety of performers coming in this year. So I hope to see everybody down there at Abbey Griffin this summer. 4th of July is 2.5 weeks away. We're getting there. The annual patriotic concert with the Merrimack Concert Association will be Sunday, July 3rd at 6:30 p.m. at Abbey Griffin Park. They usually do root beer floats that they sell as a fundraiser for Merrimack Concert Association. And so that's always a good time and usually has a large crowd of people show up. Monday, July 4th, there's basically 4 events going on this year. The Merrimack Roadrunners Boosters Clubs has their annual 5K road race, which is starting at the high school this year at 8 a.m. The Rotary Club will be doing their pancake breakfast from 8 to 11, also at the high school. So I guess get some pancakes and then run, or run then get pancakes, I guess. 8 to 11, the parade kicks off at 1 o'clock at the Common Shopping Plaza. So we line up basically on the road outside of Tractor Supply Store, and then it comes down Daniel Webster Highway to Babusick Lake Road to Aguero Drive and finishes at the high school. A couple of years ago, we had more than 1,100 participants in the parade itself, not counting all the spectators watching it. Given that it's a midterm election, I would expect that number to be higher this year, but we'll see. Right now, I've got 36 groups, and 2 years ago, we had about 70. So, but they all come in like next week or the week. So they all come in on June 30th, at the deadline. We're, it's always a good parade. We've got some new bands this year that we've been able to recruit. So it should be good. And if anybody'd like to enter a float, could be, decorating a car or a bicycle, could be, promoting a business, could be anything simple. There is no cost to participate. If you're interested in doing that, there is you can go to our website, merrimackparksandrec.org, and it's just a simple form to fill out and you're in, basically. Parade kicks off at 1 o'clock, as I said. And then on Monday night, fireworks will be held at Merrimack High School. They're shot from the football field, as always. We will have DJ Darren Roy playing music from 7 to 9 p.m. in the parking lot out front. We're working on trying to get some food trucks, although it was kind of last minute that we're getting permission to do this. So I'm not sure if we can pull it together in time or not, but we're hoping to. So 4th of July is coming along. And then, did you have a question, Lon?
Might want to mention where the gathering point is for parade participants.
Yep, so parade participants meet after they registered, they'll get instructions from me, but they meet at Tractor Supply. And then we check them in and then put them in their proper lineup and go from there. And then the last thing it's not on the agenda, but I found out at 3 o'clock this afternoon that the town moved up the deadline for capital improvement projects for next year. Usually we turn this stuff in like late October, and I found out today it's due July 22nd. It's a good time. So I have about a month to put together our capital improvements for the next year, which is fiscal year 2023-24. We had 3 projects kind of in the loop, so I'm basically going to be working on updating that information from last year and trying to get more accurate pricing and whatnot. But the 3 projects that we had, and I'm covering it now just since we don't meet in July. So first one was there was a request last year from MYA about irrigation at Wasserman Park on the football field, because if you've been out there during football season, especially when it's a dry season with not a lot of rain, that field kind of turns to dust. That was tabled last year, and we don't know if it was budget they tabled it or if they didn't like it, or the town manager pulled it out, and I haven't been told otherwise yet, so we're going to put it back in and see what happens. The estimate we had last year was about $60,000 to do that project. The second one is athletic field development. The town has a parcel of land that it's acquired off of Pearson Road, known as Fields Farm. I won't steal Lon's thunder about town council retreat, but I know it was one of the things, Fields was one of the things that they discussed at their retreat last week. But working with the town engineer, we have the potential for a multi-purpose, 330-foot by 195-foot soccer, lacrosse, field hockey type field. And then we have the potential to also add a softball field. The challenge with the softball field is the orientation's wrong. So you're kind of staring at the sun, but is it a field versus not having a field, given the field shortages that we have? So that needs a little bit more thought, but and then obviously parking for about 70 cars. One of the challenges with the site is there's a brook that runs right through the middle of the parcel, so it's kind of like the softball field and the parking's on one side, and the soccer field would be on the other side with some sort of bridge or something over the middle. And so again, that's one of the things that I'll be working on in the next couple of weeks after I get through 4th of July.
What was there a price tag on that one?
The price we had a year ago was $750,000. I don't know if that's still current or not. I have to the way things are skyrocketing right now, I wouldn't be surprised if that's gone up, but we'll see. We'll see. And then the last one was, if you've been to Wasserman Park in the last year, you've noticed that the road's gotten pretty bad. Looping around the park, with the constant rainstorms we had last year, it kind of destroyed the road. It's falling apart, it's buckling. One of the other challenges is when you're first going down the hill, just past my office, it's a single lane road, but it's two-way traffic. And that was created when we created the waterfront parking lot, but we didn't have the money back when we made that parking lot to make that wide enough for two-lane traffic. And so every time there's two lane, cars are supposed to kind of, if they see somebody coming, they're supposed to stop and wait, but they don't. And so they drive onto the grass, and then it buckles the pavement, and it breaks it up, and all that good stuff. So one of the things we're hoping to do is redo the whole loop, basically starting at my office, going down to the tennis courts, back up towards past the function hall, and exiting by the yellow gate by the camp office, that loop, repaving that, widening that first row for the two-lane traffic as you're coming in. And then the last piece that I'm actually hoping to do is an additional parking lot. We took down the old MYA what was known as the MYA cabin. It's above the basketball courts by the function hall. Last year and a half ago, whenever that was. And one of the challenges, we've done actually more than $10,000 in rentals in the function hall. And one of the challenges with rentals in the function hall, especially if you've got a nighttime event, especially in winter, and especially if you've got a formal event like a wedding reception, we've had several, and you're trying to walk across that lawn in heels, it's a safety hazard. So we're looking at like a 30-spot parking lot where that cabin used to be above the basketball court, but it actually also has the secondary benefit, because one of the problems we've had for the last 2 years is people like to park wherever they feel like down there. And so we've got signs everywhere, we've got rocks everywhere, and they still kind of they'll move the rocks to put their car there, even though it's next to the sign that says "Do not park here, tow zone." They do it anyway. So the other piece of that is if we put parking there, because a lot of them it is people going to the playground, or they're going to the sports fields, or they're going to the function hall, then maybe they'll stop parking on. I've gone in there some days and they're on the lawn. I've seen cars actually parked. I'll come in first thing in the morning and there's a car parked on the basketball court, because they were there the night before and they left their car there overnight, and we've towed a few people out of there. So hopefully this solves some of those problems as we do all of this. My price tag from Public Works is $230,000. Although we have to check, right, and we have to do the road either way. It just has to be done, and that's $200, and then the parking lot is another $30. So, so those are the three projects we're pushing for right now. For next year, barring any other major catastrophes in the next month. But the idea is that I guess the planning board and finance and the town manager wants to get more time working on this so that the CIP stuff is done before we get into budgets instead of trying to do them at the same time, so. So we'll see how that all goes. I just, for everybody else, it's probably a good time of year. For us, it's like, oh, really? But it is what it is. So that's my last bit of info.
Was there any particular reason why they moved it from October to July? Is there something else going
To give
on?
it, so, because the regular budget's due in October, and so they want this done.
More time.
In advance, so, yeah.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Matt. I appreciate that.
On the discussion, sorry, and on the
That's okay.
discussion of Wasserman, the pathway from the dog park parking lot down to the field, is there any talk about doing anything with that? I know once we get to later on in the season, it gets really dark walking down that hill, or walking up the hill especially.
Yeah,
I know the erosion, the water washes a lot of it away.
right. I don't have any immediate plans. The problem is we have to power it. You know, I remember when I first got here in 2014, MYA was like stringing up lights, and the fire department shut that down because it wasn't properly connected, and every day was extension cords and, you know, whatever, and they did, so we have to put power and run it down the hill, and I don't know what that would cost, so I can find out, but I don't know.
What about like solar lights? I mean, I know there's not a lot of sun that goes down there.
I don't know that you'd get
I don't know.
enough,
We wouldn't get enough light.
you
down
wouldn't
there,
get
right?
enough light in there to, in through the trees to, so we'd have to wire
Just
it.
even the condition of it is,
Yeah.
I was there the other day and it was pretty rough, so.
I'll take a look, and I'll have DPW, maybe we could at least fill in low spots and that kind of thing.
I know that you walk around with the Eagle Scouts and I'm guessing sometimes the Girl Scouts for different projects. And here we had, you know, Mr. Schwartz come in today talking about putting in the stairs. This kind of fits within that. So if things go well for him for food, you know, for fundraising and things like that, it might be worth talking with an Eagle Scout who's
Yeah.
trying to figure out what to do. It might help that area. And you can use logs to block it off like you would do in
Yeah,
a park. To cut down on the amount of wood you'd have to purchase.
right.
But
Yeah.
you wouldn't get lights.
Yeah, you wouldn't get lights from a scout project, because that's all, you know, a donation, so, I mean, that's not a project they can do, we need an electrician to do it, so. But I will put it in my notes and I will take a look, and see what
Okay.
we can do there.
Does anybody have any other questions or anything for Matt? Okay, let's move on to organizational reports, and Maureen.
Okay, the seniors are running. We have a lot of sign-up things. Newport Playhouse coming up. We just signed up for Foster's, and that's lobster with entertainment, and it's full. So it really worked out pretty good. So we're going to have like a Memorial Day or 4th of July party, and then at the end of the month, so, you know, because we don't have a meeting on 4th of July. So
You
everybody's.
should put a float in the parade.
That
I'm
scares
sorry,
me.
I can't last that long on a float. Excuse me, I just, you know, and I'll have to wear clothes. I don't want, you know, no, it's
This
okay.
is a family program.
Is the center open again for
Oh,
meetings?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, very open.
Good.
And
That's good to
doing pretty good. Couple people have had COVID, but I just wanted to thank the Lions. Phil's not here today, but they did a tremendous meal on Sunday for free for the seniors.
Oh, nice.
And I was disappointed. There were 3 tables empty, and people were not able to come because they said they were full. And 3 tables full of people never showed. So
that's-
it's
see,
kind of
that's really-
sad because other people couldn't go. Excellent meal. I guess DW Diner catered it.
Oh, nice.
Wonderful. So everybody kind of got to take a meal home, actually, you know, so it was
Nice.
fun.
Wow.
But yeah, we're doing, you know, seniors are doing well so far, knock on wood. We're keeping busy,
Welcome back.
and we'll think about a float. Yeah.
I'm
Whatever.
sorry,
It
but
goes
that
for
still
MYA,
scares
too.
me.
A car wash, oh, yeah. Funny.
Got
You're
it.
leaving,
That
right?
goes for MYA too.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right, Maureen, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, Jonathan, MYA.
All right. We have a couple sports that had finished their spring season. We have one sport that is actually in the process of finishing their season. Out of those, we had 4 state champions, 6 teams in the top 5. I think more top 3, but not sure exactly the numbers. This summer, baseball will be having 3 teams participate in their summer series, which is an increase. I think they usually get like 1 or 2. Basketball will be holding a clinic in August, which will be helped out by the high school coaches. Football is in the middle of registration. They have 135 kids already for football, 27 for cheer. And they are in the process of starting their conditioning season. Registration numbers are going up. That we've noticed a huge increase in numbers. And not to sound like a broken record, but field space is pretty scarce. We had multiple sports overlapping, sharing fields. We're making it work the best we can, but there are some logistical issues with that. So, you know, as always, keep it in the back of your mind as you're. So, but that's where we're at. NY is in a really good condition, and yeah, kids are happy, parents are happy, so we'll keep it going.
That sounds great.
Thank you.
Yeah, that sounds great. And we've told Rick too when he's in here, we are trying to figure out the whole field situation. It's at the top, I promise. We are looking.
Well, we just worry about the number of housing coming in to Merrimack, you know, and as we've already seen with the number of registrations going up, so we just get a little concerned sometimes. So we want to make sure that we're not canceling out any sports because we don't have space.
I understand that. Do we have any information as far as the people coming into these housing, as far as whether there are more families, less families? Have we gotten any kind of a geographic map of anything to give the schools an idea of what's coming in in the sports?
I mean, we don't have. I don't have it with me. I mean, I can get together with the other directors individually and see if they've noticed the pattern, whether it's more families, because most of the sports do offer like a multi-family discount.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have 3 kids in your family, you're getting a discount, so they can kind of see where they lie on that. But we just noticed numbers.
Yeah.
You know, we look at 137 kids past years up to like 200 kids currently. So it's pretty big. I mean, with football already having 135, that's a big number for them. So.
Okay, we gotcha. Thank you. Lon, Town Council.
Yeah, I may be a little bit more verbose tonight than usual. Matt mentioned the retreat that the council had on June 8th, and the athletic fields were discussed rather succinctly in terms of the pressures that are put on, not so much from the increase of players, but from the question marks about what's going to continue to be available to us. The 2 fields down by, and I apologize, I'm going to say Colesman, and I know that is not the name now, but Daniel Webster Highway,
Elbit.
kind of
Elbit,
across
Elbit.
the
That's
street
Elbit.
from
Yeah.
Budweiser. The town has let that company know that perhaps we would like first offer or first refusal, whatever. They haven't said yes or no, but they know we're very interested because those fields are important to the programs. We talked about the North Fields Farm?
Yeah.
Yeah. We talked about that site. There was some information brought forward that there, originally we were looking at maybe 2 or 3 fields, and because of wetlands, it may not be available to that degree to us, but perhaps at least 1. They've looked at also what was proposed development of fields at Horse Hill, again, and that was part of the discussion. And also the Timmons property out Babuzik Lake, it's school property. There's some potential there for development of fields, but again, when you start looking at neighborhoods that have built, next to, and also what the conditions are in terms of wetlands or not, that may not be as large as we originally perhaps had been led to believe. Wasserman Park, the football field area, and irrigation, and if I may be so bold, also turf was brought up. In football parlance, we punted out. And if the council takes me on about that, I'll take my thrashing. But we're aware of it. We know something needs to be done, but there was no definitive action other than a really good discussion about that area and what to do, and the realization that it really gets pounded as the season goes. We're very aware of that. We're meeting again on the 23rd of June. I think we have one meeting in July and perhaps one in August. I thank you for your patience, and that's what I have for you.
If I could just add one thing to comment on Lon.
Sure, go ahead.
With Albert Fields, we are in contracts negotiation with them for another 3 years. But we are always concerned that they could always say, no, we want to build down there, or they want to sell that to whoever. So that's another issue that we have with soccer, especially,
Yes.
where if we lose that, then we lose a lot. So Albert has been really good. We've put some work into the fields. We've offered to do more work with the fields, so we're working on it as well. We don't just rely on the town, but a lot of people don't realize that we don't own that field. The town doesn't own that field.
Right.
So we are working with them to get another 3-year contract.
What about at Gatanga? Is there any more room over there for a field expansion?
Well, it's their land, so, you
Right.
know.
We could ask.
I couldn't say.
Okay.
Oh, Lon's got something to that.
Yes.
It would be negligent of me not to mention that there was also a discussion regarding the skateboard park, and we're very much aware of the school's position in terms of what are we doing with that campus or redesigning that and so on. I will say there was a lot of support for finding a place for the skateboard park and making sure that when it becomes necessary for us to relocate it, that it's not only relocated but built in a more modern fashion and so on. And the council's very aware of the cost of that, which is not minimal, but that was discussed as well.
Did the council give you any idea that you could share with us as far as which ways they're leaning, as far as direction, where the skateboard park might, their thoughts on where they might want to put it?
As I said, the support was there for continuing it. One of the problems with the skateboard park, part of the discussion that always comes up is location in terms of other, eyes on it. And yes, cameras and all of that we're all becoming more and more aware of, or
Right.
at least this whole senior is every day, are helpful. But where it's located right now, next to the school, it gives the kids that really get enthused about it. They don't have to go far. If they can find a place for their skateboard during the school day, they're there. And also the police station being
Close
so
enough to
close
watch.
has been very, very helpful in the last couple or 3 years. That was probably the largest part of the discussion in terms of trying to find the location, which we've discussed here as a committee, trying to find a location that doesn't make it inaccessible to those young kids who aren't perhaps driving yet and, you know, need access to it, even with bicycles, so. Does that answer your question?
It does. It does.
Like I say, there wasn't any negative connotation to the discussion. It was like, the way we left it the last time we discussed it, what do we do about it?
Yeah.
I've only been on the school board for like 5
I
minutes.
understand, I understand. They do it to me all the time, so I would just,
Well, we're gonna jump right down to. Yeah. So Naomi is with us tonight from the school board.
Yes. So I don't know how much of any of this you've heard, so I just made a list of stuff we've been up to the last month or so. Graduation is this Saturday at 10 a.m. There's no rain in the forecast, but the rain date is Sunday. The exciting part about graduation is that we're back to normal in terms of capacity. The seniors can invite
That's great.
as many people as they want, and they're all coming. The grads are all coming in at the same time, and so everybody's really happy about that. If by any chance anyone's watching who still needs information at this late date, there's a page for seniors on the SAU 26 website.
Okay.
The last day of school is Tuesday, the 21st. It's a half day. Some projects that the school district has going, I don't know if you've talked about or not, the concession stand that they're rebuilding at the high school.
We see the advertisements for it.
Yeah, there's the deadline to buy those bricks, that you can get engraved bricks to help support the concession stand. It's being done through Laura's World Fund. And the deadline to buy those bricks, if you want one, is Friday the 19th. Or is that Friday? No, that's Sunday. Sunday the 19th. So it's the 19th. It's Sunday is the deadline. Okay. And then the Thornton's Ferry Playground that had the massive fundraising effort over the last year, the equipment is all ordered. They're on schedule to break ground, and knock on wood, weather permitting, it'll go in over the summer before the kids go to school in the fall. And then we are having, as a board, we're having our first ever planning and goals meeting coming up on June 28th. And we are very excited about that, to sort of have some real good discussion and set the direction for the district for the next year.
Great.
So, any questions?
Yeah. What about your input from the school board's perspective as far as incoming students for this year, and is the school ready for the new building?
Yeah, this actually happened before I was on the school board, so I was at that meeting, but I'm fuzzy on details. We had a big presentation where they did some estimates based on the number of apartments and the kind of number of people who are going to come in. And the upshot of it was that it's probably going to be a more gradual thing. It's not like we're going to get hit with a couple of hundred new students all at once. It's going to be like a few here and there, and it'll, across all grades, or a few in the elementary school, so we'll have time to build capacity. It's not going to like be an overnight, all of a sudden we need to build a new school or anything
Okay.
like that.
Okay. Those of us not in the know, we're starting to panic just a little bit.
Yeah, I wish I remembered more about it. I could go dig it up. It was sometime, it may have been last fall.
Well, I'm not seeing panic on your face, so I think we're good.
No, I remember being reassured that it was
Yes.
like, oh, this is not as
There you
scary
go.
as I think it's going to be. Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Does anybody have any questions for school board?
Yes,
Thanks.
I'm sorry, Naomi, I missed your last name.
Halter,
Nice to meet you, and spell it.
Halter.
Good, thank you very much. Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Thanks, Naomi. I appreciate it. All right. Comments from the public? I think we're good. Okay. Comments from the committee? All right. Well, I have one. Jamie, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for being with us over the year. It may not have been, everything that you had planned on, but we've really appreciated your input and your efforts in helping us out and helping us make decisions and helping us work through issues and stuff for the town. It means a lot to us to have you as a volunteer, and we're going to miss you.
You can always come
Yep.
back.
Thank you.
Things
I appreciate it.
change, You know,
Yep.
things change.
I do.
Will you still be living in town?
Oh, yeah,
Family- yeah,
it's just the
Yeah.
work travel is,
Yeah,
it's
good- well,
not
good
fair
for
to the
you.
committee if I,
I understand.
make
I
that many,
understand. Well,
so.
good for you. Congratulations and good luck.
so, thank you.
To say no.
We need someone to take care of you. All right, so we have no further meetings in July. Our next meeting is gonna be in August. It's on August 17th. So everyone have a wonderful summer. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
You make it, Jamie.
So moved.
There you go.
Second.
Jamie motions to adjourn. Okay, thanks, Laura.
Yeah.
And all in
Everybody have
favor?
a wonderful summer. Yep. You got it.
I'm just gonna assume we got them all right. Nine?
Seven, yeah.
Seven?
Usually 8. 8 of us, wow.
I went to a wake.
There's not 9?
It was
8?
one of my classmates, right?
Yeah,
And they
sure,
said,
yeah.
about the 50
Yes, you do. You count. You may not get a vote, but you do count.
And
All right,
8
motion
o'clock.
carried,
And
and
it's
we
8
are
o'clock.
adjourned at 8
o'clock.
o'clock.
Exactly.
Yes.
Nice.